This is the Turf Zone Podcast, your central information and news hub, bringing together professionals from turf associations across multiple states to share things to help you in your business. Brought to you in partnership with our friends at the Alabama Turfgrass Association. Now, let's get in the zone.
Welcome to the Turf Zone. In this episode of Alabama Turfgrass, we feature an article titled, When Bermudagrass Cultivars and Athletic Field Traffic Collide, by Beth Gertal, Professor, Auburn University, and Dave Hahn, Extension Specialist and Associate Professor, Alabama Extension and Auburn University. New Bermudagrasses, both hybrid and improved vegetative selections of common Bermuda grass, are being introduced into the turfgrass market, intended for use in athletic fields, home lawns, golf course fairways, and commercial landscaping. The grasses vary in their shade tolerance, resistance to various diseases, color, texture, and ability to tolerate traffic. For Bermuda grasses used on athletic fields, traffic tolerance is one of the most important traits. So in 2017, researchers at Auburn University installed a study to look at long-term traffic tolerance that evaluated 6 Bermudagrass cultivars available commercially at the time under 3 levels of artificial traffic. This study evaluated the cultivar's traffic tolerance when used as a typical high school athletic field. In April of 2017, sod was laid from 6 different Bermudagrass cultivars commonly used for southeastern U.S. athletic fields. Cultivars were Tifway, Tif Grand, Tif Tough, Latitude 36, Northbridge, Hybrid, and Celebration, Vegetative Common. The grasses were all obtained as sod cut from various commercial sod farms, and all sod was laid on the same day. Sod was laid in plots measuring 10 by 20 feet in size, with each main block of cultivar replicated 4 times in a randomized complete block design. Traffic was applied as strip plots across each cultivar. Each traffic strip was 3 feet wide and 10 feet long, imposed using an artificial traffic simulator. 3 levels of traffic were applied to the Bermuda grasses: none, low, 3 American-style football games per week, or high, 5 American-style football games per week, foot traffic. The artificial traffic simulator is an aerification unit with the tines removed and replaced with strips of tire in which bolts are embedded. The traffic simulator is run up and down each plot with the tires and bolts simulating footwear and traffic. Traffic was applied during the typical U.S. high school football season from late August to November of each year, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Plots were not overseeded in the winter, and in all other aspects, irrigation, fertilization, pest control, were managed as a higher quality high school football field. Mowing height was 2 inches, done 3 times a week using a rotary mower, with clippings returned. Plots were not top-dressed, nor aerified from year to year. Collected data included monthly color and quality using a relative 1 to 9 scale, with a score of 1 for completely brown or dead turf, and a score of 9 for lush, dark green turf. Additional data included shoot density, dry weight of roots, rhizomes and stolon, clipping yields, and spring density of poa annua. The results to date have shown that the cultivars do respond differently to different levels of traffic, but this mainly occurred in the fall when the grasses were being actively trafficked. In the spring, the grasses had no traffic, and all of them tended to recover from the fall traffic, and differences in shoot density were only due to the cultivar itself. Table 1, which can be found in our show notes, shows shoot density of the various cultivars in the spring in various years, and only the highest level of traffic ever decreased shoot density. There were differences in cultivar, with Tif Grand often having highest shoot density and celebration the lowest. In the fall, when traffic was being applied, Tiffway and Tiffgrand were most affected by increasing levels of traffic, with shoot density decreasing from 5.6 to 3.4 shoots per square centimeter as traffic increased. In comparison, trafficked plots of Northbridge and Celebration tended to not be as affected by traffic. Although their overall shoot density was often less, it did not reduce further when traffic was applied. The weight of stolons and rhizomes can be important because that is a key plant part, above and underground stems, that stores carbohydrates which are then used for turfgrass recovery, growth, and spring green-up. Traffic never affected the dry weight of stolons and rhizomes, and the interaction between cultivar and traffic was also never significant. Thus, all the differences in the dry weight of stolons and rhizomes was due to the cultivar. The Bermudagrass cultivar, with consistently the greatest dry weight of stolons and rhizomes, was Northbridge, while Tiffway always had the lowest weight. Regardless of the season, Bermudagrass color and quality were more influenced by cultivar than level of traffic. Typically, Celebration and Tiffgrand were darker in color. When no traffic was applied, Bermudagrass color typically had this ranking, from most to least green: Tiffgrand, Celebration, Tiffway and Tiff-Tuff, Latitude 36, and Northbridge. When plots were trafficked, it affected the color of Celebration, Tiffgrand, and Tiffway the most, with color decreasing as traffic increased. In comparison, as traffic increased, the color of Latitude 36, Northbridge, and Tiff-Tuff were largely unaffected by traffic. Cultivars with best quality, determined by lushness and uniformity of the turf, were often Tiff-Tuff, Tiffgrand, and Northbridge. This was regardless of the level of traffic. The plots were sodded in the spring of 2017, and a winter annual pre-emergent herbicide was applied in the fall of that year. The following 2 years, 2018 and 2019, no fall pre-emergent was applied, allowing evaluation of Poa annua infestation as affected by traffic and cultivar. In April of 2019 and 2020, any plot that was trafficked had greater populations of Poa annua, average of 25% cover in those plots, than any plot that did not receive traffic, average of 10%. In 2019, plots containing Tiffway or Tiffgrand had the largest Poa annua population, with Northbridge joining that group in 2020. All other cultivars had similar populations of Poa annua, with a general population increase of 10 to 16% from 2019 to 2020. It should be emphasized that none of the cultivars performed poorly over the 4 years of the study, and all had specific seasons when they performed better than others. Some cultivars had consistently darker color, while others had higher shoot density under extreme traffic. A few cultivars recovered quickly from the fall wear period, while others took a portion of the spring to recover from that wear, but all eventually did recover. This study will continue for 2 more years, allowing us to evaluate the long-term effects of traffic on Bermudagrass cultivar performance. For all photos and figures associated with this article, check out our show notes. And don't miss an episode. Subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Or you can visit us at theturfzone.com.
You've been listening to The Turf Zone. For more episodes of The Turf Zone, visit theturfzone.com and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app.